Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of Command. So there were quite a few peculiar bits of news that came out of the US Navy recently. In particular, there was the cancellation of the Constellation class frigates, Trump getting his own battleship, and then of course the new FFX program, which I want to focus on today. So I'm not going to comment much on whether or not it makes sense to build battleships or cancel the Constellation class. This horse has pretty much been beaten to death by lots of different creators, and they've done a pretty good job at highlighting the different arguments. They've done it a lot better than I could do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the FFX concept and see what we could actually do with it. And we'll of course be doing that by basically rebuilding it in Command Modern Operations and then do a little bit of experimentation. So the FFX of course is based on the Legend class security cutter, which is basically supposed to be modified to be turned into a small US Navy frigate. There's not that much known yet about what is actually going to be on there, but at least the initial flights will probably be very close to what the security cutter actually looks like. And we also have this slide, which explains a little bit the different systems that will be on there. So using this as a template, we're going to build our own FFX frigate from bits and pieces out of the database, because of course, since all of this is very new, there's currently no FFX unit available. What we do have though is different versions of the Legend class cutter. And so what I basically did here is I took the one with NSMs already loaded and converted that into what is supposed to be on the Flight 1 FFX concept. So specifically what has to be done is the radar is not the correct one on the Legend class, so had to be switched out to an SPS-77. Legend class also doesn't have the ram launcher, so this one had to be added. And then of course, since the new frigate is supposed to have 16 naval strike missiles instead of 8, I also put those on as well. And the 30mm cannons also had to be added, of course. So let's take a look at what our Hypo FFX actually looks like. So you can see here in the sensors, we actually do have the SPS-77 Sea Giraffe, which is a Saab radar actually. So we have our ram launcher with 21 116C Block 2 missiles, and we have 2 additional quad launchers for naval strike missiles, making it 16 in total. Then of course we also have to add our helicopters. In this case will be an MH-60R, and in this case, and I'm not sure if they can actually hold both at the same time, but this one also has like an MQ-8B fire scout. So yeah, what can we actually do with this thing? It's not particularly useful as anti-air, since it only really has this point defense with a single ram launcher. So you better make sure that this launcher does not break. Okay, what else? Anti-submarine. This thing doesn't have a sonar, and at least for the first flight it's not supposed to get one. It does have the helicopter, but yeah, if you go into sub-infested areas, I'm not sure if you want to go there without an onboard sonar. Also, VDS is pretty standard right now for submarine hunters, so yes. Is it supposed to play picket for a fleet? Maybe it's a little bit situational. This thing is not fast enough to keep up with a carrier. I think the maximum speed is around 28 knots, so yeah, if the carrier goes full throttle, then this thing can't keep up. Okay, what else? Anti-shipping. This thing has 16 NSMs, which actually makes it quite dangerous in the anti-shipping role. I mean, these things are like nothing spectacularly new. They're basically just a modern version of a harpoon with a little bit more range and low observability features. But yeah, they're being pretty successful on the market right now with these. I think they're made by Kongsberg in Norway. So if you're like looking at the package, it kind of looks like a missile boat in many ways. Quite peculiar. So what are we going to do to show off its capabilities? Actually, we're just going to put it into a little bit of a cage fight with some of its peers, that being like small modern frigates. Yeah, we'll let them fight to the death and see if the Legend, or rather the FFX, can actually come out on top in that competition. Okay, before we go into the details of the scenario, let's take a look at our contenders. So in the Japanese corner, we have the Mogami class frigate, and that is specifically the Flight 1 of the Mogami class, weighing in at about just around 5,000 tons. So the Legend class cutter and the FFX are going to be around 4.5 thousand, so I kind of put a hard stop at around 5.5 thousand tons. So nothing bigger than 5.5 should be in the scenario. Mogami is very much an anti-submarine platform, at least the way the Flight 1 was designed. Sole air defense is again RAM, but this time they're actually using a C-RAM, so this one only has 11 projectiles, so very light on the air defense. Has a whole bunch of submarine things that we're not going to go into. What it does have is the SSM-2, which is a modern Japanese anti-ship missile. But this is like one of the few anti-ship missiles that are actually in the 200 plus nautical miles range category. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the Korean frigate, the Chungnam. It's basically an Incheon iteration. Again, very anti-submarine focused, so we'll just ignore all of that. It does have quite a few short-range anti-air missiles, so this one is actually pretty well protected from aerial threats. And it also has anti-ship missiles, 8 in number, basically harpoon, like up to 80 nautical miles, which will be fine, like everything will be within probably 100 nautical miles or so. So this is going to be perfectly serviceable. Chungnam coming in at just over 4,000 tons displacement. Okay, next up, the French FDI, or Frigate de Défense et d'Intervention, is another one of these modern multi-role frigate concepts, small frigate concepts, that actually already exists. I think there's like one of them even in commission now, coming in at just over 4,000 tons. This thing basically has it all. Has a very good sensor suite, very anti-submarine focused, again, has a very good sonar system. It's using a modern version of the Exocet, the Block 3C, 100 nautical miles range, subsonic, it's like a run-of-the-mill anti-ship missile, perfectly serviceable. Here they actually do have 8 of them. I've seen different concepts where they would only have 4, but we're just going to use the standard version as it comes out of the database here. One thing that is really notable is the 16 Asta 30s. So these are actually like the long-range, high-performance versions of the Asta, which is quite interesting. Like this thing can literally, like it has the radars to detect ballistic missiles, and it also has the missiles to shoot down ballistic missiles. So this thing is like, has very high performance anti-air. It just doesn't have a lot of them. Like this thing would probably profit a lot from like a RAM launcher or something to complement what's already there. But yes, this is probably, from all the small frigate concepts that have come up in the last couple of years, like they're supposed to be multi-role and affordable and small. Like this is probably like the most complete package, and it's actually, it has been built and it works. It's like a very nice ship. I have to give it to the French here. Okay, let's go to a little bit of a wild card. That would be the Istanbul class out of Turkey. So I've seen this set up with a different air defense system. They have their own vertical launch system. Here from the database, we get it with a RAM launcher again, like a single RAM launcher. Same caveats apply as always. 21 missiles. Does have indigenous anti-ship missiles. These are again very much harpoon-like. Has a little bit more range, but yes, they have 8 of them. And then there's a whole bunch of anti-submarine stuff that we're not going to go into detail. Most of these frigates that we see here are mostly meant in like an anti-submarine role. So, okay, let's go to one of the big ones, the Type 54A. This is the Chinese anti-submarine frigate, or guided missile frigate, that is actually being produced in large numbers. And it's a very nice package. Again, a lot of the equipment is for anti-submarine roles, so not very interesting in this case. They have a little bit of area air defense, like the air defense missiles here go up to 40 nautical miles. And they have 32 of them, so that's quite a lot. Can they actually attack ships too? No, in this case they cannot attack ships. So all of our contestants will be allowed to use SAM missiles for anti-surface role. But yes, these can actually not do that. They're using the YJ-83 as anti-ship missile. Like this is again very much a harpoon analog with a little bit more range. But yeah, pretty standard stuff. Nothing crazy, hypersonic, supersonic, or whatnot. It's just a very nice package. Yeah, it comes in at just under 4,000 tons. So, like, this is also, when it comes to these small frigate concepts, this one is actually very serviceable. And then last, but certainly not least, we have the Russian Gorshkov class. And yeah, I was surprised. Like, I was a little bit surprised to see that it is in the same weight class, but yeah, it comes in at just under 5,000 tons. So the Gorshkovs are actually not that much bigger than a Legend class cutter. But what they lack in size, they certainly make up for in the number of missiles that they carry. In this case, will be armed with 16 Sizzlers. Really, really dangerous system. Then we have Greyhound. This is basically a Panzer, and this is a little bit misleading. It has 64 missiles, but most of them are in storage. It will have 16 available at any given time. And of course we have the Growler system. That's basically the navalized S-350. It's like a little bit misleading because Growler would, like in the land domain, this would be an S-400, but in the Navy, like it's the 9M96D. That's basically the missile they use on the S-350. Very, very capable. So yeah, out of all the different frigates that we got in this weight class, the Gorshkov is admittedly the one with the most destructive power. And it also has pretty good air defense. Like, of course, all of this comes at a cost. So if we're looking at some stats really quick for our 7 frigates, you can see on the left here, when it comes to weight distribution, Istanbul being very much the lightest of them. Then we have this middle section with FFX, the FDI, Chungnam, and the Type 54A, with Mogami and Gorshkov pretty much being on the upper edge of the weight limit. Mogami is actually pretty heavy. Anti-ship missiles, Gorshkov and FFX lead, like all the other ones, only have 8. 8 being kind of like the standard number. Air defense, again, only the FDI, the Type 54, and the Gorshkov actually have area defense. All others are limited to proximity, and this is also one of the areas where the FFX certainly loses out against many of the others. The one thing where the FFX really leads the pack is range. Like, this is like the one thing that you usually don't get if you have one of these little frigates, especially if they're packed with weapons. Usually they won't be able to go very far, and this is true for almost all of the ones that we have here. Again, like the Gorshkov, yes, it's like packed full of missiles, but it can only go 500 nautical miles. Ronark, same, and the Chungnam and 54A too. Like, all of these are not meant to go very far. The only ones here that are actually meant to go very far is the Mogami, which also gets to like the 10,000 nautical mile range, and the FFX, and this is of course the big selling point, since it is based on the Legend class cutter. The Legend class cutter actually goes 12,000 nautical miles. So to just give a little bit of perspective, so if we want to cross the Atlantic, we're looking at around 3,000 nautical miles. So like, one of the small frigates can make the journey, but has to refuel. It cannot come back on its own tank, basically. If you want to cross the Pacific, then we're talking many more nautical miles, like 2,000 to Hawaii, and then another, around 6,000. Around like 4,000 to get to the interesting theaters. So you need 6,000 nautical miles to even get there. Like, the Legend could theoretically make it there and get back on its own gas tank, so to say. So yeah, Pacific, like, the distances are just much, much vaster, and so it makes sense that frigates that are meant to operate in the Pacific will have a lot more range. But yes, you have to pay to get that range, and this is one of the reasons probably why the FFX looks a little bit anemic, and the Mogami, which also looks quite anemic, it's going to be beefed up a little bit in future flights, but then the weight also increases. Like, VLS equipped Mogamis would actually be outside the weight limit for this scenario. So how is this going to work? So there's a little arena down here. All of our contenders are enemies with each other, so everyone is fighting everyone. There's a little bit of a teleport effect here, so if we start the clock really quick and goes down to 5 seconds. All of them will teleport down here. Where they end up is random, and they're all set up to try to patrol this area in the middle, or roughly in the middle. And yeah, eventually, even if they spawn pretty far from each other, they will end up running into each other, and then they'll have to try to survive. So this is going to be the mini frigate melee. Time for round 1. Alright, let's get this party started. So we have a little bit of observer function here. Like the traditionally Western allies will be in green, Turkey will be orange, China and Russia will be red, and our FFX is going to be blue. All of them are automated, so we're not going to do anything, we'll just watch what happens. And let's go for round 1. Let's see where everyone ends up. Okay, so right away. Oh god, okay, so the Gorshkov, actually like the Gorshkov and the... That is not an opportune placement, and we also have the Ronark on the other side. I'm pretty sure we're going to get absolutely plastered here, but let's see. And we have the 54A close to the Istanbul and the Chungnam way off in the distance. Well, let's see what happens. And immediately missiles are coming out. So our FFX seems to be going for the French FDI here. Actually, they're pretty much going for each other. But we already have some sizzlers inbound. Chinese are already fighting too. Ooh, and it's trying to defend. So yeah, these sizzlers are already in their rocket mode, but this one has been defeated. And this one as well. Next round of missiles is coming out already. So this is going to be the second round. Meanwhile, what's going on over here? Oh, the other ones don't really seem to go after each other very much. Ooh. Oh no, it's shooting Asters. Oh no! Oh, it's taking out the drone. Okay. I'm not sure if the Asters are actually allowed to go for ships. No, it's not allowed to do that. So no anti-surface function for the Aster. Yeah, these don't stand a chance. But then again, this thing is... Yeah, he's completely out of interceptors now. Ooh, and there's still an NSM. Still an NSM inbound. Yeah, these will be defeated pretty easily. Ooh. Can it survive this? Nope. Bam. That's the first hit of the match is FFX hitting the Ronark. Uh-oh. More sizzlers. Do we still have missiles left? Yeah, there's still a few. Ooh, damn. That one was clutch. Oh. This one is going for the French. Bang. And it's dead. Okay, let's see. Smack. More missiles coming out from here. Do they still have any? No, they're actually out. The Turks holding the line. They still haven't fired any missiles. Oh, and there's still 2 anti-ship missiles on the way here. These seem to be going for the Gorshkov, and Gorshkov and FFX being on a little bit of a collision course here. That could actually be a bad idea, because the Gorshkov actually has a pretty big caliber and long-range gun. The FFX only has a 57mm, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so this is not a great idea. Oh, and first gun engagement. Look. Yeah, main gun is dead. You could see the little ring disappearing there. Oh, that's not good. Well, it probably still has the... No, it's completely it's disabled. Unfortunate. And that was some missiles coming out from the Turks, but oh, they're actually completely out. They seem to be on like a little bit. What kind of gun does this thing have anyway? 76 millimeters. Oh, so they're pretty much evenly matched here. Oh, helicopter. Bam. It's dead. Chungnam and Mogami so far, they haven't really done anything. They still have like their full complement of anti-ship missiles. They probably can't even see each other yet. Let's speed this along a little bit. Oh, and gun battle ensuing over here. Turks seem to come out on the lower side of that. So we actually got some anti-ship missiles coming out here. These seem to be going for the FFX, which is now dead in the water. This one seems to be going after the Gorshkov. Let's see, but if they like keep bringing the missiles piecemeal like that. Oh, that's one helicopter. Oh no, it actually survived. Growler, can't hit. Yes. Let's speed it along a little bit. So now these two are going to merge, and apparently they can't really do that much. Over here the battle. Oh, damn! Chungnam is dead. Mogami came out on top of that one. Meanwhile, the 54A, like the Chinese frigate, seems to be dead in the water. These two are going to merge as well. Let's see if... Oh, they seem to be... Uh-oh, that's our FFX sinking. Oh, and the Gorshkov too. Holy crap. Damn, Mogami is going strong, but it's almost out of ammo. Let's see if it can find the... It's also the radar. Seems to be a little bit battered. Claim the win. And they're going to merge. Let's see who's going to come out on top. And it's out of ammo. But yeah, this... I mean, it might not sink from that. They're both out of ammo and or cannot fire anymore. So I guess that will be the end of the round. Mogami clearly on the top here. Let's see if we get different outcome in the second round. Okay, let's try this again. And bloop. Okay, where did we end up? This time the two, like the Gorshkov and the Chinese frigate seem to be a little bit off here. All the greens and the FFX are... Well, it's gonna be interesting. They're probably like just 20 missiles away. They're really close to each other. And the missiles are coming out immediately. Whoo! FFX doing a little bit of a spread. It's always great to be surrounded, so you can attack in every direction. But there's also going to be missiles coming from every direction. What is that? Chinese are already shooting, apparently. Some of the Korean anti-ship missiles are incoming. 4 in total. That should be pretty easy to defend. Let's see. Here they come. Will they be intercepted? Bang, one down. And all 4 of them eliminated. Meanwhile, yeah, everyone is pretty much shooting at everyone here. Problem is, like, the two, like, if the Gorshkov doesn't take fire early, it's probably going to win. And is he not defending? No, he seems to be... Ooh, the Chungnam. Yeah, that was unfortunate. There's still anti-ship missiles on the way. This one was successfully defended. 2 more anti-ship missiles incoming. Oh, and we also have incomings now from the south. Damn, we're like... Our little FFX is getting fire from all sides. Also, where are these going? Oh, damn, he's going for the... He's going for the Gorshkov. That's not like a long shot. But yeah, I guess... it's not even 100 nautical miles. It's all... Everything is kind of close. Ooh, he's doing like a little vector attack. That's an Aster. He's going to blap the drone. Here it comes. And smack. No, actually it's fine. I mean, this is pretty crazy. I haven't even been like using time compression at all. This is literally real time. So much stuff happening like at this, we're like 3 minutes in and already got one of them sinking. There seems to be, where are they going? Yeah, he's basically just shoot everyone. Oh, what about these? Oh damn, that's a lot. That's 2, 4, 6 of them. Do we have any? No, it is actually completely out of NSMs. 4 of them is not going to be enough, probably. And these scissors are going for the Ronok. Does the Ronok still have anti-air? Yes, it still has 12, but... yeah, we'll see. Speed it along a little bit. This is Mogami defending. Doesn't have many missiles. Like, this will leave it with just a single interceptor. Should be able to defend against these, though. Oh wait, there is one left. Damn. It actually needed that one single interceptor to save itself. Oh damn, it missed as well. Oopsie. And... smack. Ooh. Oh, it wasn't too bad apparently, but yeah. Okay, here come the interceptors for the exocet. Those were fired by the FDI. 2 exocets. And blap blap. Do we still have interceptors? Yes, 8 interceptors left, but no anti-ship missiles. Okay, where is the action right now? So we'll speed it a little bit along. First round here are the Sizzlers coming for the Chinese. Interceptors are out. And they managed to defend against them. More Sizzlers are going for the Ronok. Oops. Some of the Turkish anti-ship missiles. I don't know where exactly they were going, but they are indeed. So there's 2 anti-ship missiles coming for our little FFX here. One of them being the Chinese and one of them being one of the Japanese. Still have 6 interceptors. This one is already going, or these 2 are already going for the 2 Chinese missiles here. Let's see if they hit. Yes. Okay, so this one is taken out. Over here we have intercepts coming in against the Sizzlers. And it's out of ammo. And it didn't manage to get all of them. That's a problem. Yeah, you're not going to defend against Sizzlers with CVIS. So that's the FDI out of the picture. Damn, we're actually doing pretty well here, like, I have to admit. That should be no problem. And we're left with 5 interceptors. Everyone else, like what's... Oh, damn. Gorshkov is hit. Gorshkov is dead. Holy crap. Okay, that leaves us with Istanbul still loaded. Oh, damn, that's a lot of anti-ship missiles. And the Chinese, no anti-ship missiles. Mogami, pretty much... Oh, it's still going at like 13 knots, but otherwise... I mean, for now, the FFX is kind of unscathed. Let's see. Oop, more sizzlers. Bang. That's the Mogami gone. Oh, and these are going for us. Oopsie. Or are they? Yes, they are. Can we defend with just 5 interceptors against 2 sizzlers? Let's see. Here they come. Smack. And come on, come on, come on. Oh, damn. And it missed. It missed. Let's speed it along a little bit. The problem is the gunfight is not something that we are very good at. Oh. But if the... Oh no, he's going for us. He is going for us. That's not good. Oh, no one's shooting yet. This thing has more range. We're probably going to take fire long before we can actually fire. Ooh. And here it comes. Can we actually get shots off? Like, we're not far off. It will depend on how many hits we get early on. Like, usually they take a little while before they land the first hits. Oh, we're getting hit immediately. That's bad. Splash, 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 splash. Is the gun still working? Oop, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, it is firing. Yeah, that seems to be it. Just two rounds. Let's see if they actually do hit anything. But yeah, those are like pretty small caliber. Let's see, can we land a hit? Here they come. And splash. One more chance. Splash. Okay. Didn't hit anything. Well, I guess that is it for our FFX. Now the question is, can the Istanbul get rid of the Chinese for us? Let's speed it along a little bit, but they probably still have interceptors. Yes, they have more than enough interceptors. It will come down to a gunfight again. That should be the end of this. Yes. Okay. Yeah, the helicopter is not going to get anywhere close. Whoopa. Well, he made sure to finish off the FFX before he goes for the Chinese, apparently. Blap, 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 blap. And first hit's coming in. Poop, 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 poop. I mean, he's probably out of ammo from, like, pummeling the FFX. Get him, get him. Ooh, he's sustaining some damage. Oh, and he's going to full stop. Damn, he's down and out. Damn, is he actually going to trash the thing completely? No, now he's out of ammo. Is there anything else he can do? Whoop! That was the helicopter. And blap. Holy crap. I didn't foresee that outcome, but yeah. Istanbul actually won the round, completely unscathed. Very nice. Actually a pretty nice job. So yeah, the FFX. Well, if you compare it to other things in the 4,000 to 5,000 tons weight category, it's actually not too far behind. At least before you realize that all of the other ones that we had here have like a full complement of anti-submarine warfare equipment, including sonar systems, some of them with VDS systems. This little cage fight that we did here basically plays to the strength of the concept right now, which is like having 16 anti-ship missiles and pretty good radars and everything. But yeah, I think that concludes our little experiment here. Hope you found it interesting. I certainly did. And yeah, see you for the next one.